Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And it is time for a gaming vlog because I have a few small things to talk about. Each one is not worthy of its own video, so we'll just do like a vlog here and kind of, cover all of it. So we will start off with getting caught up on our Roll20 tabletop role-playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition game that if you've been following the previous videos, you know about it. If you do not, if you're unfamiliar and this is the first you've heard about it from me, you can go back and look at the previous videos. So where we left off, I had explained that our group was in this alternate plane and we had been having to go to these different pyramid structures and figure out a way to get inside. And generally, usually on the way, because they're quite a far apart. I think it was like at least a day's travel in between each one. There was usually a pretty strong creature or mob or whatever encounter that we would have to deal with to get to the structure. Then we'd have to deal with getting inside, figuring out how to get inside. And then once inside, there was generally traps and a final custodian or guardian of the chest that would have the piece that we would need to go back to the plate on the ground where we kind of zoned into this realm, into this plane of existence. There's that plate that took these different geometrical shape things, and we figured out that's got to be like a key. Each one's a key, and you have to have so many of them to open it, So our idea is, we get enough of them from all these pyramids, gather them up, put them in there. Maybe we'll get back home, back to our plane. So on this particular session, it was the same. We had one more pyramid, I think at least one more. Yeah, one more to go to. And we ended up having to fight. At some point we encountered this big dog creature that was way powerful. He took a lot of damage and so forth, but his true power was revealed when I believe it was our barbarian. She was going toe to toe with him. She was the meat shield, the tank. She's up there fighting toe to toe with it while we're all trying to attack it as well. And it successfully clamped onto her leg. And in addition to the normal, I think it had like claw bite attacks. But in addition to that, once it was clamped on, it did like 40 hit points of electrical damage. Like she got shocked. Like it was a electrically charged dog creature. And our DM, I know that he gets a lot of these creatures from, and this is going way back, so most of you won't get this reference, but there's a thing called Arduin. And Arduin was another fantasy role-playing game that came out, set of rules, whatever, and they came out after the original D&D, in the little pamphlets came out, and the little booklets came out. And Arduin was created not too long after that for use within Dungeons & Dragons. You could use those rules and everything, and I know our DM uses a lot of the creatures from the Arduin game world in our campaign. And I'm thinking that that's because I don't remember ever in any D&D book, Monster Manual 2, Fiend Folio, I don't remember any kind of electrical dog type canine creature. So I'm thinking that's where it came from. Now I could be wrong, and it could have just been something I've never encountered before, but I'm guessing it's an Arduin type creature from that game world. So at that point, our barbarian was like, holy crap. I mean, that was quite powerful. And so I had to, we actually got a druid that joined in, the DM's son, who's played with us here before. he was on the Roll20 game as well. He joined in as a druid, so he could heal too. So luckily, thank goodness, we actually had 2 healers this time, and we needed it. So we do end up defeating that. We make it to the pyramid this time, and this particular pyramid has a bunch of like vines covering the entire entrance that we're trying to figure out, like, to hack them. Better silence that, or that'll be going off like crazy. And as a matter of fact, that was a direct message on Twitter from one of you guys. You'll know who you are, more than likely. Anyway, I just silenced it, so I'll get back to you. I will get back to you after I finish this video. So by the time that you see this, provided you watch it, should have responded to you. So we have to figure out how to hack our way through these vines and everything, and we're worried, that they're going to animate at some point. And sure enough, of course, they do. And I think it's the barbarian again who gets grappled by these things, and they're doing a lot of damage. And so luckily we had me and the other healer, the druid, and we were able to keep her alive. It might have been somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it was the barbarian again. And so we get through that, and I can't remember if the door was trapped, but we get inside, and of course there's a pit trap. I think there was a gas trap on a door, same type of thing. And we make it into the final creature, which again was invisible. We defeat it. We get our piece out of the treasure trove. But in addition, this time, there was quite a few like magic items, sundry magic items, and so forth that we have to get identified. And there was a piece of obsidian that most of us in the group didn't know what it was. It just looked like a magical little rock or something. And so out of character, like my character, none of us know about this, but we know as players that one of our characters, our assassin, is I don't remember if I want to say he's neutral evil. I don't think he's lawful. He might be lawful. I don't know. He's an evil assassin. And he's been working behind the scenes for this necromancer, I believe. I think, speaking of me, Greyhawk, I think it's a necromancer. Of course, none of our characters have any idea about it. And apparently, Cal, our assassin, was sent to retrieve this thing, because we get back to the plate in the ground and we put the final piece in from the pyramid and everything, and the storm comes back and we appear back on our plane of existence, what we think is our plane of existence, and then we have to do some checks. I have high geography from my character, and another person does, and we are able to figure out, I think we're on our home world, but we've never been here before, and we're trying to figure out, and at some point I think we realize we're like hundreds of miles away from anything. We're like out in the middle of the boondocks. And when we get there, if I remember correctly, this humanoid guy who looks like a necromancer or whatever appears and says to the assassin, "Thank you for retrieving this," takes the obsidian thing and splits. So that's one of the things we're going to have to deal with, because we kind of stopped right there. But my character is definitely going to confront him and say, "What the hell was that all about? With the evil looking dude, and you like retrieving this for him and not saying anything to us about it? What the hell is going on?" That's going to happen this next session. I don't know how it's all going to go with the rest of the party, but I know how it's going to go with my character, because I'm the cleric. I'm the what am I? I am lawful neutral. So in addition to that, one of the items in the treasure chest was a scroll, and the scroll was I want to make sure I get this wording right. It was like a teleport without fail. It was like it has no possibility of failing. It's guaranteed to one use teleport scroll. The magic user isn't high enough level, I don't think, to copy it in or try and learn it, but he can use it. And it's creating some friction. We ended because he wanted to take it and teleport back to the city or whatever. And we're like, well, wait a second. That's going to leave us without a magic user. And if we encounter some crazy shit out here, we need your spells. We need your firepower. We don't want you to, because who knows if you're going to come back. You might just leave us out here, And he's like, no, I swear I'll come back, that type of thing. I'll figure out a way to get back, and so that dialogue was happening, and that's where we stopped, was basically we have to confront the assassin about the obsidian piece and evil dude, and we have to basically come to the decision on whether or not we're going to let the magic user teleport away and promise to come back, or if we're going to keep him there somehow to help us find our way to the next civilization or whatever. That's where we're at. So that's what happened. We packed a lot in because we didn't even play that. We only played for 3.5 hours. We packed a lot into that. So because we normally play till midnight, we stopped at 10:30. So that was that. The other little thing I wanted to talk about was this Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, CSGO, Valve code leak. I don't know if you've heard about this. I'm assuming some of you probably have. That the source code for those games, some of the source code, was apparently leaked, or somebody hacked in and got it, or what. Basically, it's out there in the wild, and I want to make sure I get this terminology correct, because there is, let's see here, where did I just had it. It's called a remote code execution. So that is the threat. Remote code execute, RCE. That is the concern with that code for those games being out there, and because they're online games, they're persistent online games, that somebody who has that code could hack in and literally change the code while the game is being played to trick somebody into downloading malware, installing a Trojan horse on their machine, who knows, several machines, who knows what. So my advice as an old gamer who's been around a long time and seen various levels of this kind of bullshit before, my advice would be I wouldn't play either one of them until Valve puts out that they have actually patched it's safe. Because they're saying, well, we think it's pretty safe because it's old code, and so but they have yet to say yes, guaranteed it's safe. And so the dialogue that's going on is, well, can we play, or shouldn't we play, or should we play? My advice is I wouldn't touch them. I would just, I got 600 games on my Steam account. I don't need to play either one of those two particular games until I know that shit's been sorted out. So I did want to address that just in case any of you guys were following that that's this old guy's advice. So last thing, quick update to Fallout 76. So I think when I gave my initial thoughts video, it had not happened yet that there was a duping exploit that was found right after I did my video, which would allow people using people's what do you call it? Their vendors, their player vendors, to dupe items. And so Bethesda shut down all player vendors, and display cases, I think, was the other thing they could use. That happened right after I did my initial thoughts. So if you're wondering, yeah, that hadn't, or at least I hadn't heard about it yet when I did that video. So that, as of yesterday, supposedly has been fixed. I took my player vendors completely out of the game. I just removed them because some people were saying even if you disconnected power, it could still happen or whatever. So I just removed mine, and I didn't get. There were people that were getting stuff stolen out of the vendors. It's still a pile of shit apparently. Again, having fun following the quest and the storylines. The Fire Breathers, I think the Fire Breathers quest line was fantastic. I mean, I'm enjoying all that, but god damn it, fix your fucking game, Bethesda. Fix the goddamn game. You've had a year and a half. Fix the goddamn thing. Yeah, great. You put out more content. Now there's NPCs and everything else. Fix the shit too. God damn it. That's ridiculous that you're still having these kinds of problems. That's insane. Anyway, I had to add that little bit in there because I know some people might have seen my video and said, why didn't he address the exploit thing or the duping thing? Well, I hadn't heard about it yet, so bad timing. Anyway, I think for my next video, it was suggested to me that maybe I do a video about World of Warcraft, the current version, not classic, the current one, Battle for Azeroth, BFA, Battle for Azeroth, what my thoughts are on BFA and going into Shadowlands. So I think I'll do that as my next video. Matter of fact, I'm going to do basically my history with World of Warcraft going all the way back and how I felt about each of the expansions going forward up to BFA, and then I'll even talk a little bit about what I've seen so far of Shadowlands and what I think about that. So I think that's going to be my next video. Anyway, guys, that's it for this vlog. We're over 17 minutes. It went longer than I thought it would. Any other ideas for videos? Put them down below. Please like, subscribe, share, whatever. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.